Hey, what's good, lads? Today we're going to be meticulously breaking down and predicting UFC Nashville. This card is pretty alright. I mean, the main event does this card a disservice because it's actually somewhat decent. You got like a decent co-main and feature fight in Wonder Boy and Steve Garcia. Um, so yeah, dude, it's actually an alright card. Like I've heard a lot of people saying it's shit, but to be honest, it's not that bad. I'm not even trying to be a fake hardcore here. It's just the main event that lets it down, but it's a solid card. Maybe a 6 out of 10 for a fight night. It's a little bit above average. It obviously hailed in comparison to the Saudi Arabia card we're getting, but you know, it's still decent. So yeah, let's get straight into the predictions, guys. I will be making a video soon about the shit quality of cards, or rather the how inconsistent they are with each other. But soon. But yeah, let's just go straight into it, guys. The first fight of the card, Mike Davis versus Mitch Ramirez. This is the easy pick, guys. I mean, even the odds spell it out for you. Like, Mike Davis is a hinge, like 15 through 25 fighter of the lightweight division, and he further solidified that in his last performance against Ferreziam, where it was honestly a pretty competitive and close fight. And yeah, dude, that just is impressive. Mitch Ramirez has only one fight in the UFC, and it's a loss to Thiago Moises. Mike Davis, I really do think Mike Davis would have an easy night with Thiago Moises. So yeah, dude, I'm picking Mike Davis as a lock to win this fight. Moving on, I'm not gonna waste any more of you guys' time. Walter Walker versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. This is actually a bit interesting. I was kind of considering picking Walter Walker because he does have the aura, a little bit of aura. He's gotten I don't know if he's gotten multiple heel hooks in his last few fights, but he's gotten like heel hook submissions in his last few fights. Did originally look pretty ass in his fight against Lucas Brzezinski, which was his debut, but yeah, but he just looked like a bloody heavyweight. Um, but he has the aura of being Johnny Walker's brother, obviously, and that could make you want to pick him, but honestly, dude, because he's tricky, obviously the lighter man skill, and yeah, dude, Kennedy Nzechukwu is not a plotty heavyweight, and that ultimately is what's gonna make me pick him in this fight, dude. He also has pretty decent takedown defense I've seen. I forgot the fight he showed him, but Paul Craig. Yeah, the Paul Craig fight, he showed pretty significantly good takedown defense, even though he ended up losing that one, I'm pretty sure. Um, So yeah, dude, I'm pretty confident he doesn't get submitted. That was also pretty early on in his career. Um, Volta Walker is just plotty, dude, and Kennedy Nzechukwu has light heavyweight skill. So I'm going to pick him in this fight, and honestly, I'm gonna put a lock on that one as well, to be honest. So yeah, let's move on to the next guys. Uh, what was it? Jake Matthews versus Chidi Njokuani. This is honest. This is a bit hard to predict. I am a Jake Matthews fan, but this guy's just hit like pretty hit or miss, dude. I swear to God, I've like picked so many of this guy's fighters wrong. But I'm gonna go with Chidi Njokuani. I think he's really coming into his own recently. He just got a pretty decent finish over Aleski dos Santos. I actually kind of respect that win a little bit. Um, and yeah, dude, this guy's pretty. He's a pretty decent range striker. He has a significant height and reach advantage in this fight, I assume. Yeah, he does. Um, and yeah, dude, Jake Matthews. I feel like he's probably just gonna get hit up in the clinch at some point in this fight. And yeah, dude. I mean, this is kind of 50-50 to be honest, but I do rate Chidi Njokuani a little bit enough to pick him against the Jake Matthews type. Because yeah, sometimes Jake Matthews really doesn't look like he could be any of these elite welterweights, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna move on, guys. I'm gonna be picking Chidi Njokuani, not very confidently though. I would not be surprised if Jake Matthews gets this done. Let's move on. Max Griffin versus Chris Curtis. I'm fucking picking Chris Curtis and putting a lock on it, dude. Chris Curtis is actually a decent fighter. Max Griffin lost to Michael Chiesa. And I mean, if you're losing to Michael Chiesa and the big fucking 2020's gone, then Jesus Christ. So yeah, this guy was literally a Michael Chiesa victim. Chris Curtis literally just had a competitive fight against Roman Kopylov, who I think is gonna go on to do decent things in the middleweight division. So yeah, dude, I have to pick Chris Curtis. Again, putting a lock on it. Um, yeah, this is just easy to predict this stuff. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say, guys. Let's move on to the next. And moving on to main card, it's Junior Tafa versus Tuko Takos. This is honestly pretty hard to predict because Junior Tafa is a this is like one of the bummiest fights you can make. Junior Tafa was getting ridiculed in his last fight because he was complaining about it about a stoppage against Walter Walker when yeah that fight should have been actually why is this fight higher than Kennedy and Tuko versus Walter Walker? This is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, why the fuck is this so high? Um, but yeah, anyway, yeah, Junior Talbot was obviously coming off a little bit of humiliation ritual against Walter Walker, but Tuko Tokos, he's basically just had two losses in the UFC. The first one is a first round submission to Umar Sy, which honestly has not aged well at all, dude. Umar Sy just got fraud checked by Alonzo Manifield, and yeah, that loss is not looking great at the moment. And his last fight was a fight against Navajo Sterling, where he didn't show anything. He just like it was just kind of like pathetic how long he was able to stick around for. It kind of like fraud checked Navajo Sterling a little bit, purely because he wasn't able to get rid of Toko Tokos. But yeah, dude, they're both ass. Like, there's obviously Junior Tafa with his transformation. It doesn't really mean shit to me, to be honest. Um, I guess he has extra aura coming into this fight, but yeah, mate. Last time I picked a Maori guy to win a fight, it didn't go so well. But you know what, guys? It always hits the second time. So yeah, I'm gonna be going with Junior Tafa. I think like Tugo Togo's literally hasn't done a single good thing in the UFC. Like Junior Tafa can at least like has at least rocked people. You know what I mean? But Tugo Togo's he's just he literally hasn't had a moment of success in the company. So I'm gonna pick in Junior Tafa. He has a little bit of extra aura going into this fight. Um, yeah, man. He's Maori, bro. You know. Let's move on, dude. Let's see if that hits. Uh, and bro, we got two bum ass fights back to back, bro. Because yeah, you. I mean, these guys are bigger bums, but Vitor Petrino versus Austen Lane. Vitor Petrino, probably one of the yeah, he just asked it. I mean, this guy got fucking submitted by Anthony Smith in big 2024 last year. Horrible. And Austen Lane, I think people forget that this guy fraud checked Rebel's Spain a second time. Um, but yeah, this guy he got flatlined by Mario Pinto bad in his last fight. Both of these guys are coming off flatline knockouts. It's yeah. Other than the fact that bums, they're also coming off flatline knockouts. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. But honestly, I'm gonna go with the lighter man skill here, Vitor Petrino. The odds, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're pretty heavy towards Vitor. This guy was actually he's not actually that bummy. He was able to stay on the feet and have a somewhat competitive fight with Dustin Jacoby. And I actually really do rate that a lot because Dustin Jacoby, in my opinion, he should be a top 10 light heavyweight, if not like maybe even I think he's like he could I think he beats Jamal Hill, for example. Like I think he could if you give him the right matchups, he could get ranked in the top eight for sure. So yeah, that's honestly not a bad look. Obviously, he got flatlined in that fight, but in terms of this skill, I do think he definitely has more skill than Austin Lane. Austin Lane's not the most plotty heavyweight, but he's still a heavyweight. Um, and I imagine he's going to be patient as hell in this fight. I honestly think both of these guys are probably just going to be patient as hell in this fight. I think it's going to probably go decision because of that. But I think Vitor Petrino just has the better skills than Austin Lane being the lighter man. And yeah, I'm going to pick him for this fight. Do I pick him as a lock? You know what, fuck it, dude. Let's put a lock on Vitor Petrino. That's a horrible idea. But I mean, he is going against Austin Lane, so yeah, let's put a lock on it. It's happened. Uh, Next up, Morgan Charriere versus Nate Landwehr. This is a pretty good fight. Yeah, this is a sleeper fight, dude. In terms of last performances, Nate Landwehr coming off a loss to Dooho Choi. If I remember correctly, he took quite a bit of damage in that fight too. I think he got like knocked down and rocked multiple times. Like Dooho Choi had like a standout performance in that fight, and a lot of people actually think he's like fully back from it. Um, so yeah, he had that was his last performance, and then you have Morgan Charriere, who's coming off a loss to Nathaniel Wood, and in a pretty competitive fight. Um, Honestly, dude, I think the better look is losing to Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood, honestly, I think is quite an underrated fighter in the featherweight division. I don't think he'll ever. He might crack the top 15, but I think he's like one of those fringe 15 through 20 fighters. There's always just going to be really like decent. Um, yeah, and I think Morgan Charriere is just going to be able to rock Nate Landwehr like a good amount of times in this fight. He'll probably put him away or have like a Dooho Choi-esque performance against Nate Landwehr, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure Nate Landwehr's pretty old at this point. Um, he's been in just a bunch of wars. I'm pretty sure he was coming off somewhat of a layoff from that Dooho Choi fight. Let me just check though. I'm pretty sure he was. Let me just double check. Yeah, year layoff. Oh, actually, never mind. It wasn't a layoff. Oh, yeah, my bad. Yeah, he does have sneaky good wins against guys like David Onama, though. I do think David Onama doesn't deserve to be in the rankings, and I think he was given that shot because of DEI. But that's a sneaky good win. But yeah, dude, I think in terms of last performances, I think I prefer Morgan Charriere going to this fight, guys. I'm not gonna lie, and I think even if it goes to like a close decision, you guys know that they're gonna give it to Morgan Charriere. I'm kind of tempted to pick Nate Landwehr, but I'm gonna go Morgan Charriere, dude. I did pick his last fight wrong. I picked him to be Nathaniel Wood, and he didn't. But I trust him in this matchup to get it done. So yeah, let's move on, guys. Calvin Kattar versus Steve Garcia. I do not know how Calvin Kattar is still ranked in the top 15, but Bryce Mitchell isn't. Explain, UFC, what the fuck? Bryce Mitchell literally lost to Gene Silva when he was ranked 13. He gets booted straight out the rankings. Calvin Kattar is on like a fucking 4-fight loss streak where he lost to, what was it? Yusuf Zalal, Aljo, and who else was it? I think it was Josh Emmett or something. But yeah, this guy is on like a massive loss streak at the moment. And yeah, he was coming off a massive layoff from that Aljo fight as well. And he's still ranked for some reason. But Steve Garcia gets the opportunity to get into the rankings. And this guy, I'm pretty sure he's on like the longest KO streak, or yeah, KO streak in the UFC at the moment. I'm pretty sure, not even in the featherweight, just in the UFC. I don't think he's gonna get the knockout this time, dude. I think he's probably gonna eke out a decision, is what I'd say, because Calvin Kattar, even though he's washed, he still has decent boxing, not the best footwork, but I think he has the skills to just survive against Steve Garcia here. And I feel like Garcia is probably just going to eke out a decision. I honestly am not even too confident in him winning, to be honest. I'm pretty, I don't think it's going to be a brutal knockout by Garcia, I'll be real. Because Calvin Kattar does have the good enough defensive boxing to just survive. And you just know Steve Garcia is just going to try to get a knockout. He's just a knockout merchant, dude. I mean, you have to go with him because Calvin Kattar is coming off all those losses. I'd be really surprised if he pulled this off. So yeah, I'll probably go with Steve Garcia by a decision, dude. I'll be real. But yeah, that's he's actually not that heavy of a favorite. That's crazy. Minus 125. Damn. Yeah, I'll go with Steve Garcia. I think he gets this done. You have to pick him with momentum. He has some of the most momentum in the featherweight division. Calvin Kattar's on the biggest loss streak in the featherweight division at the moment. You have to pick Steve Garcia here, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, let's move on. Stephen Thompson versus Gabriel Bonfim. Listen, dude, what are the odds here? Minus 410. Jesus Christ. It's a bit risky because I do realize that Bonfim is definitely going to mix in the wrestling here, and he does have a submission game. But at the same time, dude, if you look at the fight against Buckley that Stephen Thompson had, minus the knockout, he was doing really fucking good. Like I was surprised watching that fight how good Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was doing. He was literally stuffing all the takedowns. He was piecing up Buckley on the feet, and I think that's really impressive for a guy like Wonderboy to do. Um, Obviously, threat of the takedown is what ended up getting him knocked out. But dude, I think Bonfim is a worse wrestler than Buckley. I'll be real. So he's gonna struggle to get the takedowns more. And I feel like I feel like Stephen Thompson's had experience piecing up these guys that are rangy, like Bonfim. Bonfim is one of these taller guys, kind of like a Kevin Holland. Uh, and I think Wonder Boy has the ability to piece him up on the feet. And you have to imagine Thompson is still take training for the takedown threat in the gym. I do worry because he is so bloody old. I mean, this guy literally was in his prime during the Woodley era, so that's obviously a worry. It's risky going for Wonderboy, dude, because he's so old. But if I'm picking skill for skill, I have to go Wonderboy. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go Wonderboy, dude. Skill for skill, he should win this fight. I think Bonfim's gonna struggle to get it to the ground, and he'll probably just get ended up getting pieced up on the feet. I'm picking Wonderboy by a decision, but I'm not very confident in it, to be honest. Um, but yeah, let's move on to the main event. How is he ranked 13, bro? Jesus Christ, this heavyweight division. Yeah, so we have Derrick Lewis, most KOs in UFC history, and he's fighting Tallison Texeira, the only prospect at heavyweight. Dude, I think you have to pick Lewis to get this done, man. I mean, Tallison Texeira, all his fights have been first round knockouts. I realize that. But dude, who the fuck is he fighting? He's had one fight in the UFC, and that's been Justin Tafa, basically a punching bag. I mean, dude, it's not like this guy had gone through like a Martin Badai, which is he was obviously ass, but at least he's like better than Justin Tafa, or even like a Mick Parkin, dude. Like he's literally just fought Justin Tafa, and he's getting a jumper to Derrick Lewis. I think this is stupid matchmaking. I think they should have built up this Tallison Teixeira guy as this massive Brazilian. He could end up getting the knockout again, but I think I'd be stupid to pick him in this fight. Lewis just has so much UFC experience, literally the most knockouts in UFC history, 20. And yeah, I think he wins this, but I honestly don't think he gets a knockout here, I'm be real. I honestly think it's probably I think putting money on a Derrick Lewis decision is what I do, to be honest, because I think he's gonna wrestle fuck Tallison Teixeira, and I think there's probably gonna be memes coming out after this fight, comparing Tallison Teixeira to Rebels to Spain, because I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. I think Derrick Lewis is probably gonna wrestle fuck this guy and probably land some big shots, but I think Tallison Teixeira is probably just gonna survive it. Um, yeah, I think Derrick Lewis is gonna pull out a Habib performance here on Burial, and we're gonna lose the only prospect at heavyweight, and this division is gonna suck because the UFC doesn't know how to matchmake. So yeah, uh, honestly, bro, I'd put my money on Derek Lewis' decision. I don't know how much that's paying out. I imagine it's close to plus 2,000 or some shit, maybe. Um, yeah, dude, but it's gonna be a shame to lose this Tallison Teixeira guy, dude, because a lot of casual they really do think highly of this dude. You know, all first round knockouts. He's 6'7". Pretty sure that's the tallest in the division. I don't know how I forgot how tall Ball Club is, but yeah, it's gonna be a shame losing this guy as a prospect to Derek Lewis. Yeah, but oh, Derek Lewis is. We'll have a fun moment with Derek Lewis, man. You know what I mean? This heavyweight division, man. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna end it here. Um, obviously, I'm gonna I'm going to leave timestamps in the description of the video. Um, and yeah, if you'd like, subscribe. I'm going to be eventually posting more videos, not just predictions and recaps, but I'm also going to be posting videos on just the general state of the UFC right now, my personal go list, and response to Lucas Tracy's and bedtimes and all that. Um, and yeah, dude, I'm gonna be trying to be staying more consistent on this channel. To be honest, my life's been pretty hectic recently, so I haven't been doing all I could, all I wanted to. But yeah, dude, stay tuned, um, like and subscribe, and yeah, see ya.